Theory TV, MSNBC's Liberal Joe is speculating that President Trump's team are going to go to jail for the rest of their lives. Oh, think of it. Watch this.
Knowing them, I think they're shocked that the noose is tightening, because I don't know if they were arrogant or just incredibly unself-aware and really dumb about what the job was about, how important it was, and how under the microscope every move you made would be. I think they just thought they'd go in there and flim-flam and riff through it.
You know,
and I think they're shocked that the noose is tightening and that people might go to jail.
You're exactly right.
For the rest of their lives.
The stress of it all. Joining us now, author and a Radio American talk show host, Dana Loesch, civil rights attorney Daryl Parks. Yeah, it's so entertaining to watch the emotional breakdown that they're both sharing together every day in this national platform. I mean, it's almost not quite worth watching just for the emotional catharsis you see every day. It's unhingement. They need group therapy right out there on television. Dana.
Sean.
Sorry.
Well, I'm trying to figure out why. What do they think they're going to get him on at this point? Because so far, Michael Flynn just did the same thing Martha Stewart has done. Sean, I'm going to tell you something. What were we all told a year ago? We were told that the Russians were storming the White House and that the Russians were controlling Trump and that they were conspiring together and that everyone was going to die in the streets, weeping and gnashing of teeth, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. And instead, Sean, what have we gotten? A repeal of the individual mandate, tax reform, we get to keep more of our own money.
Supreme Court
just
Justice.
Horrible things. Yeah, Supreme Court justices, good judges, constitutional judges on appellate courts, national concealed carry reciprocity going through the House. I mean, come on. I mean, we were told awful things were going to happen, and instead they got Michael Flynn on the Martha Stewart charge.
You know, I know you're a lawyer. Daryl, do you have a problem if they didn't finish an investigation that they're writing an exoneration letter? And are you concerned that Robert Mueller has put people with these histories of unethical conduct that have ruined people's lives on his team and people on his team that are pro-Hillary and anti-Trump? Does any of that bother you in the pursuit of justice, in the pursuit of truth?
Well, I still believe that Robert Mueller is going to do a thorough investigation.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you if these conflicts bother you.
No.
Yes. I know my question.
I think everyone has biases to some degree. You can't say that these people are biased.
So you can be pro-Clinton, anti-Trump, express the opinion. You could write an exoneration before an investigation, and as a lawyer, you're cool with that.
Listen, Sean.
Answer. Come on, Daryl, answer that.
Let the investigation go through. You have to let the investigation go through,
They wrote the exoneration
Let the facts come
before they did the investigation.
You're jumping to conclusions, Sean. Let the investigation go.
All right, Dana, quick update. I love how you're pro-Second Amendment. There's something big this week. I want to get this in.
Oh, yes. And Sean, thank you so much for reminding all of your viewers about this. I hope that everybody calls their elected officials tomorrow, because National Concealed Carry Reciprocity is going for a vote tomorrow, Wednesday, on the House floor. This is something that millions of Americans went and voted for. Sean, you talked about it many times right here on your program. This means that your rights don't end where the state line ends. And this is huge. This is getting your rights back. And, of course, also with that is the Fix NICS bill. There's a lot of misinformation about that. That actually makes states comply with existing law. That's all it does.
And tonight we're getting new information regarding the FBI agent who was fired from the Mueller probe, Peter Strzok. Specifically, we are learning more about his involvement in the 2016 investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server. Our own Catherine Herridge has the very latest tonight from Washington. Catherine.
Sean, our investigative team reviewed this FBI summary of Hillary Clinton's July 2016 interview, and it shows that the same FBI agent, Peter Strzok, was part of it. Agent Strzok, who allegedly sent anti-Trump texts, weighed in on Comey's public statement just 3 days later that recommended against criminal charges, and he helped change the language in an earlier draft from grossly negligent to extremely careless. That's key because gross negligence is the legal standard under the federal statute 18 U.S.C. 793F, and it's widely reported that Agent Strzok also oversaw the review of Clinton aide Huma Abedin's emails that were found on her estranged husband Anthony Weiner's computer. That discovery led the FBI to reopen and close the criminal email probe just days before the election.
It's not good for the FBI, which holds itself up as a paragon of virtue, where there's no political motivations and we just follow the facts, that's all. And everybody knows that's not the case. The FBI is an organization of human beings with political interests, political calculations, and of course that happens.
FBI Director Christopher Wray, appointed by President Trump, will publicly testify on Capitol Hill Thursday. Sean?
All right, Catherine, thank you from Washington. Now, both of my next guests were involved with the investigation into Hillary Clinton's email server scandal. Joining us now, former Intelligence Community Inspector General Charles McCullough and former Republican Congressman, Chairman of the House Oversight Committee, Fox News contributor Jason Chaffetz. Mr. McCullough, let's talk about you and the Clinton campaign planning to fire you over the probe and much more. Tell us about that experience.
Well, absolutely. In no uncertain terms, I was told numerous times that because of the probe, that she had intended, had she won, to relieve myself and the State Department IG, that we would be the first two to be let go in her administration.
Unbelievable.
In retaliation for what we had
And look
done.
at what we have now. The fix was in. You write an exoneration before an investigation. That is called fixing a case. That would send Sean Hannity and maybe everybody but Jason to jail, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, certainly you're going to have clearance issues, you're going to have employability issues, and most importantly, you're going to have criminal issues for all three of those categories. Absolutely.
Former Congressman, well, you're a talk show host now. It's a far better position. Let me take you back July 7, 2016. You interviewing, you asking questions of James Comey. This is critical, this exchange.
Did you review the documents where Congressman Jim Jordan asked her specifically? And she said, quote, "There was nothing marked classified on my emails, either sent or received," end quote.
I don't remember reviewing that particular testimony. I'm aware of that being said, though.
Did the FBI investigate her statements under oath on this topic?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think there's been a referral from Congress.
Do you need a referral from Congress to investigate her statements under oath?
Sure do.
You'll have one. You'll have one in the next few hours.
And that happened. Did Hillary lie? And what, James Comey, knowing now, he had long been involved in writing and drafting an exoneration of Hillary before he even interviewed her.
Yeah, no, clearly Hillary Clinton did lie under oath. I mean, when Roger Clemens supposedly lied under oath, the Department of Justice indicted him, but Hillary Clinton not so much. You also got to remember, one of the little-known facts there is that the Department of Justice, via the FBI, was handing out immunity like candy. And in those immunity agreements, they were not required to cooperate with government officials. You contrast that with General Flynn, who has to plead guilty and has to cooperate. So here you're giving out immunity. These witnesses had no obligation to work with government officials and investigators. And there are still, Sean, to this day, tens of thousands of documents, Hillary Clinton emails that have not been shared with Congress. They are still sitting over at the Department of State.
Unbelievable. Wouldn't you, Mr. McCullough, wouldn't you have to now redo this investigation, knowing what we know now about how the fix was in?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's look, the entire campaign over and over was lying. There was collusion. There was coordination between the campaign, between the State Department, between folks on the Hill. As I have said over and over again, this was a very coordinated effort strategically by those three entities to misrepresent what was actually in those emails.
What do you make of Mr. Strzok, Congressman? And now we find out that he interviewed Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills and all of these other people, and he had a pro-Clinton, anti-Trump bias. And then also he was part of the General Flynn interrogation, which we're now learning, in fact, that Peter Strzok did, the FBI perhaps didn't even tell him it was an investigation. What do you make of all of that? How could somebody that abusively biased and Andrew Weissman, with his atrocious record, ever be appointed by Robert Mueller?
Look, Peter Strzok's at the intersection of all of these players in all of these investigations. And it was so bad that Mueller fired him months ago, but has not cooperated with the House Intelligence Committee. They were not providing the documents. They were not going to make them, except for now that it's in the media, we're not going to make them available. Devin Nunes, Trey Gowdy have been trying to get at this for a long, long time. Right. And he had this clear bias. Yeah, remember, he's dating, having an affair with another FBI agent.
And she was on Mueller's
team. You can watch The Office. Michael Scott doesn't even get away with that stuff.
She was another anti-Trump person on the Mueller team we learned tonight. All right, thank you both.